Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 15 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 15-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 10 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 10-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 5 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 5-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
on the Hawkeyes Sports Network. From Learfield, this is Hawk Talk, presented by View Rooftop, downtown Iowa City. Also brought to you by Bud Light, it's for the fans. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa football. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Authentic Brand, unique Hawkeye apparel at authentic-brand.com. And by Iowa Office of Secretary of State. Visit voterready.iowa.gov. Get in the game, be a voter. Now, here is your host, the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Hey, good evening, fellow Thanksgiving pilgrims. The Hawkeye Mayflower is docked at View Rooftop tonight, downtown Iowa City, for the final edition of Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz. We're glad you're on board for the voyage. The Hawkeyes closed the regular season with the traditional Black Friday game, the Shields Heroes game this Friday afternoon. 3 o'clock kickoff with the Huskers, the Cornhuskers, at Kinnick Stadium. 1 o'clock for the pregame show on the Hawkeye Radio Network, featuring Ed Podolak, Rob Brooks, and many, many guests. The Hawks are 7-4, an incredible turnaround, 5-3 in the Big Ten. They strung together 4 consecutive wins to become bowl eligible and are in position to represent the West Division. Now, should they defeat the Huskers, Nebraska, meanwhile, motors east on I-80 with a 3-8 mark, 2-6 in the Big Ten Conference. Nebraska will not be bowling over the holidays. And that said, you can bet they'll be fired up to upset the Hawkeyes in what could be interim coach Mickey Joseph's final game. Joseph replaced Scott Frost 3 games into the season. And since that time, Nebraska is 2-5, having lost 5 games in a row. Many of those one-score games, very close games, including last Saturday's 15-14 edging by Wisconsin over in Lincoln. The Hawkeyes have 14 consecutive November wins. That's right. 14 straight victories in November, and they want to keep the coveted Shields Hero Trophy right where it's at inside the Hanson Football Performance Center, where it's been since 2015. That's right. The Hawks have won 7 straight and 8 of the last 9 in this border rivalry. The Hawkeyes kicked a field goal last Saturday to nip the Minnesota Golden Gophers 13-10 up in Minneapolis. Drew Stevens' 21-yard boot followed Jack Campbell's second interception of the season. And that's a fact. Jack returned the pick to midfield, and from there, quarterback Spencer Petras hooked up with tight end Luke Lachey for 33 yards, and the chip shot for the freshman Stevens, who is 15 of 17 on the year. What a opening campaign this young guy is having. The walk-on, not for long, leads the team with 64 points. He's a semifinalist for the Lou Groza Kicking Award. Just an incredible feat for this youngster from North Augusta, South Carolina. North Augusta. That's 5 miles from Augusta National. So Drew's right foot has become a dependable pitching wedge, to say the least. And let's not leave out long snapper Luke Elkin and holder Torrey Taylor. That 3-man crew in kicking field goals has been so vital to Iowa this year, because the Hawks have been in a lot of close one-score games. It's a big reason that the Hawkeyes remain deadlocked with Purdue in the West Division, but of course own the tiebreaker with the Boilermakers by virtue of their 24-3 victory in West Lafayette a couple weeks back, part of this 4-game win streak. And let's hope for 24 points Friday afternoon, because that Iowa defense has been amazing. Listen to this now. In this 4-game win streak, the Hawkeye D has given up 36 total points. 36. That's 9 a game. Iowa has surrendered 10 points or fewer in 8 of their 11 games this year. It would be 9 had not Northwestern scored a touchdown on the final play of the game. But, hey, we're not greedy. You get the picture. The Iowa defense is stingier with points than Scrooge with a farthing. It's the first time since 1929 that Iowa has allowed 10 or fewer points in 8 games. Now, 1929 was the year that Kinnick Stadium opened, so you get an idea how long that streak has been intact. My favorite stat, Iowa enters the Nebraska game +7 in turnovers. Nebraska is -6. That's always a key in these rivalry games, and I have no doubt it will be again on Friday afternoon. Great to be back at View Rooftop in the Hilton Garden Inn. We're perched on the 12th floor with a beautiful vista of the nighttime Iowa City skyline. Come join us. We'll be here until 8 o'clock tonight. Of course, they'd love to host you this Friday for the Hawks and Huskers. If you don't have a ticket or we're planning on entertaining guests visiting for the Thanksgiving holiday, bring them on down to View Rooftop. What better spot to watch the Hawkeyes on one of their 8 to 10 flat screens. And of course, we're here every Wednesday night for Hawk Talk. This is our final Hawk Talk program with Coach Ferentz. Tonight, Kirk will be here shortly after 7 o'clock. Football Saturdays, View Rooftop is a real great experience, unique to Iowa City, really. You can immerse yourself in an invigorating environment with comfortable, contemporary, indoor and outdoor seating. High-definition televisions for watching the game, and you might be able to sit outside on Saturday. That long-range forecast looks great. They'll have tailgate specials and live music. So come on down, enjoy the camaraderie, and celebrate with a toast at View Rooftop in the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. You can call for reservations tonight. Here's the number, 319-519-4650. 319-519-4650. View Rooftop. So the Hawks are bowl eligible. We know they're going somewhere for the holidays. Not sure exactly where. If they win on Friday, if Iowa knocks off the Huskers again and heads to the Big Ten championship game, it's going to be somewhere south of the Mason-Dixon line. I think you can pretty well rest assured. Could be Florida again. Could be Nashville. I mean, the Music City Bowl has wanted Iowa passionately for a number of years. Could be Arizona. Of course, as you know, the bowl, the Big Ten has a bowl pecking order system now, depending on where you finished record-wise and all that. I can promise you it won't be the Citrus Bowl. It will not be Orlando because Iowa was there last year. Don't think it'll be San Francisco. I doubt highly it'll be Las Vegas because the Hawks, by virtue of, again, with a victory on Friday, would have won the West Division. And so they're sitting there in that 1 through, you got Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. So they're sitting in there in that 1 through 4, 1 through 5 seeding. The Rose Bowl, yeah, it's in play, but depending on what happens with the Wolverines and the Buckeyes, those are two teams that still mathematically could be in the playoffs. Penn State, if the Nittany Lions win on I keep wanting to say Friday, the Nittany Lions win on Saturday, they will have, I believe, double-digit wins. We'll double-check the standings, the complete game standings here before we leave at 8 o'clock tonight. So there's a lot to happen between now and Sunday. Of course, this is the final weekend for everybody in the Big Ten. But we'll speculate. It's always fun to try and guess where the Hawkeyes are going. It won't be Detroit. It won't be Yankee Stadium. It won't be the Pinstripe Bowl. And a couple other places that you can eliminate. If you got a question for the coach, for Kirk Ferentz, or for yours truly, please check us out on Twitter at Gary Dolphin, or you can log into Facebook. That's facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks, and log your question for Kirk or anything about Iowa football for that matter. We've got a bunch of Twitter posting already. Mike on Facebook wants to know turkey or ham. I'm going to guess Coach is a ham guy. I mean, I know he likes turkey or ham, but I'm guessing if his go-to on Thanksgiving Day, he's kind of a ham and potatoes kind of guy. Senior Day, that's something we don't want to wait too long to focus on, and we'll do that after we take our first break. Our next segment will run over we'll run down the list of seniors that are playing their final game, and it's a big class. There are 27 seniors because of COVID. The COVID year allowed many of our players that are now 4th, 5th, and 6th year seniors to come back. When you add in the medical red shirts and the COVID, it's a terrific class, some great players. bidding adios to Iowa football. A few will be playing in the NFL next year. Others will get their degrees. The all-academic team, all-region team was announced today, and we had yesterday. And 4 Hawkeyes were named all-district, all-academic. Those players include senior linebacker Seth Benson, sophomore tight end Luke Lachey, sophomore offensive lineman Mason Richmond, and junior defensive back Quinn Schulte, who's having a knockout year at safety. All 4 will have their name placed on the national ballot now for academic All-American honors. So congratulations to Seth Benson, outstanding linebacker, tight end Luke Lachey, who will be front and center on Friday because it doesn't look like Sam Laporta is going to be able to make it, answer the bell after he got hurt in the Minnesota game. They hope to have Sam for games beyond this Friday. Mason Richmond has really come on at left tackle for the Hawkeyes, offensive tackle, and of course Quinn Schulte has had a tremendous year all the way around. Great football players and tremendous in the classroom. That's what being a Hawkeye is all about, okay? It's also the Heroes game, courtesy of our friends at Shields Sporting Goods. And so congratulations to Randy Stabe, S-T-A-B-E, and Clint Voss. They help support nonprofits and different charities in the Sioux City community by donating their time to help at many auctions where they use their talents to raise money. They've helped lead auctions free of charge for local organizations such as Ronald McDonald, Alzheimer's Association, the Vietnam Wall, and Boys and Girls Home. Thank you very much, Randy Stabe and Clint Voss. We will interview those two fellows on Friday in our pregame coverage. They've helped, as an example, they've been doing this for 30 years, and they've raised over $2 million for nonprofits alone. That doesn't count the civic endeavors or organizations they're involved with up in the Siouxland area. Great Hawkeye country up near Sioux City and Sioux Falls, right across the border where Seth Benson is from. So congratulations to Randy. I had it right the first time, didn't I? Stabe. Long A. Randy Stabe and Clint Voss. My apologies, Randy. So we'll take a break, come back in just a minute, and we'll get rocking and rolling on Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. Coach will be here in just a little while, shortly after 7 o'clock per usual. Hawkeye football and Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz is sponsored by Bud Light. Bud Light proudly welcomes Hawk fans to Kinnick Stadium and Carver Hawkeye Arena this year. Bud Light is for the fans. And by Iowa Corn. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Take a closer look and you'll discover the many connections you have to corn. And those connections translate into victories for farmers and wins for all Iowans. Share your winning moments using hashtag Iowans Win. We'll start to break down Iowa, Nebraska when we return on Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz from Learfield.
U.S. Cellular has always believed that connection is the greatest gift of all. That's why we're offering any phone, any brand, any storage for free for everyone, new and current customers. Plus, our price protection guarantee means your rates won't go up. Because locally grown connection is the gift that keeps on giving. Visit us in-store or online to get any phone, any brand, any storage free today. U.S. Cellular, locally grown connection. Limited time offer, terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Running a business is a lot of work. Luckily, I've got a great partner.
Oh, I thank you.
I meant U.S. Bank.
I knew that.
U.S. Bank Business Essentials is a huge help to us.
Totally. Their comprehensive point-of-sale system does it all. Tracks inventory, manages schedules, customizes orders.
Plus all the regular banking stuff.
If only it could make coffee.
Nah, that's your job.
From point of sale to quick loans, we have many ways to make your business boom. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender member FDIC.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Draft Day Sports Lounge is the ultimate place to watch the game, have some fun, and show off your golfing skills with Top Golf Swing Suite. Top Golf Swing Suite in Draft Day delivers a one-of-a-kind simulation that's fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. Pair that with Draft Day's live sports viewing, local craft beers, and delicious menu, and you have a winning pair. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, home of the Draft Day Sports Lounge and Top Golf Swing Suite, just minutes south of Iowa City.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk from View Rooftop. Got a great crowd tonight. Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. That's a big party night. I don't see many 21-year-olds here, but that's okay. How many 25-year-olds do we have here? Let's see. Oh, yeah, great hand. Anybody under 25? Well, they're a late arriving crowd. I get it, but we have a couple under 25. Terrific. Well, you're all Hawk fans, I know. Any Nebraska fans here in the crew, in the crowd tonight at View Rooftop? That's what I thought. Okay. Well, we appreciate you all coming. They told me we had like 25 tables reserved when I got here, and Coach will be here shortly, and we'll rock and roll here for the next 90 minutes. I should have mentioned, I did mention Shields a little bit ago. They sponsor our Heroes game. Blaine Magdefrau is the representative from Shields. He is the Iowa City store leader. We'll visit with Blaine on Friday. Thanks to Blaine and all the gang at Shields. They're great supporters of Hawkeye football and basketball. And we'll certainly applaud and salute our heroes, Randy Staby and Clint Voss. Now, Nebraska, University of Nebraska will be bringing their heroes as well, or hero. And it's just really a fun time. Some are lifesavers, some raise millions of dollars, like the aforementioned Staby and Voss, and others, well, they're all genuine, big-hearted people. So we can't thank not only this year's winners, but our past winners enough. I mentioned the bowl game. We looked. Penn State has won 9 games. The Nittany Lions are 9-2 overall. So should they win this weekend, Penn State would be a 10-win team. Ohio State and Michigan are both undefeated. Each have won 11 games. So those are the top three. And then you have the Hawkeyes, Purdue, Illinois, and Minnesota all at 7-4. Now, the Hawkeyes own the tiebreaker with the Gophers and the Boilermakers. Obviously lost a tough one in Champaign a few weeks back, 9-6, as I remember. I think that was the score, wasn't it? 9-6. To the Fighting Illini. But if Iowa wins the West Division, they obviously would have a leg up on the Illini in the bowl pecking order. So we'll see where it goes. Either way, you Kinnick Society, Champion, and all other iClub members, you have until Friday to order or at least get your request in for bowl tickets, regardless of where the Hawkeyes go. Need a credit card number. It will not be charged until it's determined that Iowa will be participating. I should say this is for the Big Ten Championship game. Clearly you can order bowl tickets or at least get on the pecking order list for the information when it does become available. But this is for the Big Ten Championship game. If Kinnick Society, Champion Hawks, Golden Hawks, and all other iClub members would like to get in line for choice seats, the deadline to request tickets is this Friday, November 25th by noon. All requests must be made online at HawkeyeSports.com/tickets. That's HawkeyeSports.com/tickets. A credit card is required to place requests for the tickets, but the card will not be charged until it is determined that Iowa will be participating in the Big Ten title game. If Iowa does not qualify to play in the game, there'll be no charges made to your credit card, okay? Again, HawkeyeSports.com/tickets. tickets. All right, Spencer Petrus on the team's focus heading into the big game Friday with Nebraska.
You know, seniors, myself included, there's so much to play for. You know, it's not a ton of time to think about senior day or anything like that. Just more so focused on trying to get the win and earn the right to play in Indianapolis. You know, I think it's something to look back on and everything like that. You know, senior day, that kind of thing. But my focus and our focus is on the opponent we're playing because they're talented and we play them. They play us tough every year, and you know, if we want to achieve our goal, then we need to win on Saturday or on Friday. Pardon me. And you know, there's no time to think about anything else.
Spencer understands there is so much on the line with Nebraska.
I mean, we all know we control our own destiny. So we're obviously, you know, there's a lot to play for, and you know, if we win that game Friday, you know, I'm sure we're gonna be celebrating Big Ten West championship. Yeah, you know, there's not much to even talk about really. We all know it. You know, Coach addressed it in the team meeting yesterday, and you know, if anyone needed extra motivation, which I don't think we do, there's plenty right there. So, a lot to play for.
Spencer Petrus, what a run he's had here in this 4-game winning streak. I think he's got, one interception? He had 6 in the previous half a dozen games or so he has really turned it around, and it has a lot to do with that young offensive line growing up. They've been giving him a clean pocket. The Hawks have struggled with the run game the last couple weeks against 2 outstanding defenses in Wisconsin and Minnesota. But Spencer's found a way to throw the football down the field, move him into position for either field goals and score touchdowns. He's got 2 quarterback sneaks for scores, hit a huge pass to Luke Lachey on the seam route last Saturday night at Minnesota. That set up the game-winning kick. There's Sam Laporta running wild, Iowa's leading receiver with 53 catches. Sadly, Sam hurt that, I believe it was his right knee in the first half of that Minnesota game. There's Spencer sneaking in for a touchdown. And if I read Kirk's comments right yesterday from his weekly press conference, he doesn't expect Sam to be able to play on Saturday, but stranger things have happened. I want to mention and thank for their support all year long. KCRG Channel 9.2 is here. How about a hand for Channel 9.2? They've been outstanding all season long. For you folks around eastern Iowa and places beyond who don't have a chance to get here, you've been able to watch the show on KCRG Channel 9.2. And Erin Rooney and her crew, her cast of 3 or 4 each and every week have done a great job of the setup here, working around the tables and the bar stools and the flat screens and not impeding anybody's view, so they can all get a glimpse of Coach Ferentz when he gets here. So thanks, Aaron, to you and KCRG 9.2. And they've got profiles of our seniors, so we won't go through all of them now, but let's look at maybe 10 of them. We'll go in alphabetical order and thank these seniors for all the hard work they have put in, not only in the classroom, but certainly on the football field. So from the top left, you're looking at Lucas Amaya. Amaya, 6'2", 210-pound junior from Muskego, Wisconsin. He's a kicker. Then there's Seth Benson, 6-foot senior linebacker, 230 pounds from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Washington High School. Seth was, if I remember correctly, he's number 44 there. You see Seth on the left middle, right next to Jack Campbell, number 31. But Seth, if I remember correctly, was the last scholarship offer in this particular recruiting class. Now, here's a guy who's had 100 tackles each of the last 2 seasons, and he literally is the right arm of the All-American Jack Campbell. Jack's next to Seth, number 31, 6'5", 246 pounds. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week, Jack Campbell, for not only his forced fumble on Minnesota's great running back, Mo Ibrahim, inside the 10-yard line last Saturday, but had the focus to grab the tip pass by Riley Moss near midfield and then return it. Should have been a touchdown. He stayed in bounds. It was called out at the Minnesota 45. The Hawks were able to maneuver downfield regardless and kick the field goal, which proved to be the game winner. Jack Campbell ranked second in the Big Ten a year ago. With 143 tackles, he's got 110 now. There's Dallas Cradith, Dallas, a senior from St. Louis, had a lot of injuries in his career, has played a lot on special teams, a terrific young guy from Hazelwood Central High School. Then Nolan Donald, a running back from Morton, Illinois. Nolan's a 5'9", just a biscuit under 200 pounds. He's a sport and recreation management major and a walk-on. Thanks to Nolan for gutting it out in practice every day on the scout team and certainly on game day. Tyler Andres, 6'6", 300-pound offensive lineman from Norwalk, is a senior. Tyler has seen action throughout his career. Joe Evans. Boy, we're going to miss Joe, aren't we? What a career he has had. Let me look at Joe's numbers. He has been one of our leading sack men each and every season for the Hawkeyes. Joe's got 6 sacks, I believe, if I remember that number. And Joe's the guy who poked C.J. Stroud in the chest at Ohio State a few weeks ago, knocked him silly, and the ball popped out, and Joe Evans picked it up and raced into the end zone for a touchdown. Here's Joe's numbers. He's got 36 tackles, 8 for loss, and a half a dozen sacks. The pride of Ames High School. Joe, thank you for your service to the Hawkeyes. Matt Fagan, big center, 6'5", 295 from Council Bluffs, St. Albert. Matt joined the program as a walk-on. His brother Greg is a linebacker on the team. There's Taylor Fox, another offensive lineman, 6'3", 290 from East Buchanan Winthrop, and Jackson Ferentz, a tight end at 6'6", 230 from Cedar Falls High School. Jack Campbell's teammate in high school. Both those guys were on that state champion basketball team from Cedar Falls. So there's the first 10 that we're going to mention tonight here on Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz. We're here until 8 o'clock. We'll get to the next 10 a little bit later on. We're sponsored by Quick Star. Hawk fans, when the Hawkeyes win, you win. 2 days after a Hawkeye football victory, buy one delicious pothole frozen pizza with quick rewards and get a second one free at any Quick Star location. Pothole Pizza at Quick Star, proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. And by U.S. Cellular, bringing locally grown connections all season long. With any phone free for new and current customers. Hear me right. Any phone is free for new or current customers. That's right. Any phone is free. Hawk fans, check out the Shields Hero Game Trophy on the Iowa Corn Stage this Friday at Krause Family Plaza from noon until 2 o'clock. We'll have that Shields Heroes Game Trophy on display. Iowa's had it for the last 7 years. They hope to make it 8 straight with a victory over the Huskers on Friday afternoon. Again, that's a 3 o'clock kickoff, so we'll be on the air with coverage starting at 1 o'clock. When we come back, we'll break into Nebraska's lineup, give you the who's who and who isn't, led by quarterback Casey Thompson, the transfer from Texas. They have an outstanding tailback in Anthony Grant. Nebraska always historically loves to run the football, and they've got a salty defense, too. That and more coming up next on Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz from View Rooftop. We're brought to you by Learfield.
Fans, this is Bruce Gerlman, and I own Splash Seafood Bar and Grill. Have you been to Splash lately? Come back downtown and let me spoil you. White linens, fresh flowers, candlelight, award-winning wine lists, professional staff, and best of all, my fresh fish are jetted in from Hawaii every morning. Enjoy my homemade lobsters, Alaskan king crab, fresh oysters from the cold, clear, clean waters of the Pacific Northwest. My favorite is the surf and turf featuring my hand-cut prime steaks and lobster. Splash, a truly special evening of adult indulgence.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
Touchdown! You owe me $5.
You mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
You keep coming, you keep playing, and the jackpots keep adding up. You know how to win, Iowa, and we're all for it. Wild Rose Casino and Hotel has the jackpots and cash prizes you're after. We're heading towards $30 million in jackpots this year. Want your share? Join Club Wild today and get in on all the winning. Wild Rose Casino and Hotel. Clinton, Emmitsburg, and Jefferson. Visit wildroseresorts.com.
Must be 21 or older. If you or someone you know needs gambling treatment, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
At Golden Harvest, our best skill is knowing how to listen. From our Gold Series soybean and game-changing corn portfolios to our expert insights housed in the Illuminate digital agronomy platform, everything we offer is an answer to what we've heard from you. This is how we listen.
Copyright 2021 Syngenta. The trademarks or service marks used herein are the property of a Syngenta Group company. All other trademarks are the property of their respective owners.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz. We're at View Rooftop. Thank you all for tuning in tonight as you're heading over the plains, through the woods to grandmother's house we go for Thanksgiving Day. It's hard to believe the holidays are here. It sounds, it seems like 2 weeks ago the Hawks were kicking off the season against South Dakota State over at Kinnick Stadium. Time has flown. In fact, we're at the top of the hour, so let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. ID time here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We're at View Rooftop. This is Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz. Iowa, Nebraska this Friday afternoon at 1 o'clock pregame coverage on the Hawkeye Radio Network with our kickoff scheduled for shortly after 3 o'clock. One young guy who's really come on for the Hawkeyes in the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's been throwing 97-mile-an-hour fastballs all fall, but he's starting to play football like everybody knows he can, and that is Brody Breck, who was a great high school athlete at Ankeny High School. Growing up in Ankeny, he knows all about Nebraska, and there's a lot on the line this week.
This week, it's 2 trophy games really. It's obviously the Heroes Trophy. Yep. Yeah, so we got that one, and then Big Ten West Trophy or Big Ten Trophy on the line too. So like I said earlier, we just got to stay focused this week. Add some more fuel to the fire and motivation for us. Yeah, fuel to the fires if you need any more fuel to the fire. Brody's caught 9 passes, about a 10-yard average since he started to play regularly, filling in a lot for the injured Keegan Johnson, who's not been able to play this year, that nagging hamstring injury. Arlen Bruce, it's good to see him back out there last week. He's caught 18 passes, a 10-yard average. Caleb Johnson has been the best of the running backs, that pure freshman. What a career he's going to have going forward, assuming he stays healthy. 126 carries, a little over 650 yards. He's got a 5-yard average and has scored 5 touchdowns. Now, Gavin Williams is getting healthier by the week. Gavin has been the best blocking back for the Hawkeyes, and he was out there at some critical junctures Saturday night in the Twin Cities. And LaShawn Williams running hard. LaShawn's just a biscuit short of 400 yards, averaging about 3.5, 4 yards a carry. So the running backs are fairly healthy right now. Of course, Spencer Petras has had a terrific month and a half. He's thrown 5 touchdown passes to 5 interceptions on the year, 1,700 total yards. Spencer went over 5,000 career passing yards last Saturday night against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. So those are some of the key cogs, the key figures that loom large on Friday's game with Nebraska. Up front, the offensive line has gotten better. Mason Richmond, we talked about Mason a little bit ago, at left tackle. He and Connor Colby are really showing some chemistry now. Connor, the sophomore from Cedar Rapids Kennedy. Logan Jones at center is getting better with experience.
Hawks hope to have Bo Stevens back at right guard, the redshirt freshman. He did not play Saturday, got hurt in the Wisconsin game, but Bo has been steady from about the third or fourth game on as he's gotten some valuable experience. And then Jack Plum at right tackle. Nick DeYoung jumped in there last week, the junior from Pella. I thought played admirably in Bo Stevens' absence. So that Hawkeye offense is settling in, and I look for him to play a really good game against Nebraska coming up this weekend. As for the Huskers, Casey Thompson, the junior from Oklahoma City, transferred in from the University of Texas this season. He's thrown 14 touchdown passes, been intercepted 10 times. He's completing 63% of his throws, 2,129 yards. Nebraska throws a lot of the short outs, quick slants, jet sweeps, slot receiver screens. So they'll try and move the ball east and west a lot, get that Iowa defense running east to west. But Iowa's been able to handle that for the most part. Logan Smothers is Casey Thompson's backup. Their best running back, or at least their healthiest running back of the year, has been Anthony Grant, the junior from Buford, Georgia. Anthony Grant is just shy of 1,000 yards for the season. He's got a healthy average at 4.5 yards per carry. He's logged the football 204 carries. He's averaging about 85 yards a game. So Anthony Grant, who started out at Florida State, is their main cog in that running game. Wide receivers, they've got several with double-figure catches on the year. The best of the bunch is Trey Palmer, a junior from Louisiana, very fast, 62 catches for 880 yards, a 14-yard average. On the other side, it's Alante Brown, a sophomore from Chicago. He's caught 14 passes for 175 total yards. They use their tight ends. They're more of H-backs, hybrid tight ends, except Travis Vokalek. He's 6'7", 260, the senior from Springfield, Missouri. He's almost an offensive lineman. Vokalek has caught 20 passes and a couple touchdowns. So those are the main offensive threats for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Let's pause 10 seconds right now. We're in that ID window at the top of the hour. Oh, wait a minute. I did take an ID. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry about that, Learfield. We did take an ID. Let's give you a U.S. Bank scoreboard update here. Coach should be arriving shortly. As a matter of fact, the Hawkeyes are having their Thanksgiving dinner tonight over at the Hanson Performance Center, Football Performance Center on campus each and every Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. The good folks, our friends at Hy-Vee, provide a great meal for the players, for the coaches and their wives and families, and so Kirk might be a little more delayed than usual, but that's okay. Tomorrow is the Hawkeyes' normal Friday. They'll run through practice, they'll have meetings, they'll look at film, and then on Friday morning they get up and they go, and they take on the Huskers in a 3 o'clock kick over at Kinnick Stadium on Black Friday. World Cup soccer, that's other than college football, that's the big news this week. Earlier today, the United States will play tomorrow, by the way. The U.S. will run into a heavy favorite England. England and the United States, I'm not sure what time that is tomorrow. Here we go. Plays England Friday at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon on Thanksgiving afternoon. Earlier today, Spain shut out Costa Rica 7-0. Belgium edged Canada 1-0. Japan over Germany 2-1. And Morocco and Croatia, looks like they're, is that a 0-0 tie? Am I reading that right? Looks like they ended in a 0-all tie. A tie is a half a point, or half of what you would get with a victory. So, of course, these are group games now, preliminary round games, a pool play, as they call it in the Olympics. So there you are, up to date and on World Cup soccer. And again, the United States plays England tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Luke Lachey has had a great few weeks here. He's had a steady progression, really, for the Hawks at tight end. And now with Sam Laporta injured, Luke Lachey is huge in this game on Friday, and Luke Lachey believes the team is in this to the very end.
I mean, I can believe it because Coach Ferentz has done a great job with us, and just getting, chopping away at the next game. And so I can believe it just because of how great of a job he's done. So.
There's a tight end talking about his head coach and how much he loves playing for him. Luke, to this point, has caught 18 passes, 15 yards on average, a couple touchdowns. Of course, that big one down the seam for 33 yards. That post route last week from Spencer Petras that set up Drew Stevens for the game-winning field goal with under a minute to play. Luke Lachey, he's going to be the go-to guy when Petras is off for the NFL after this year. And this young freshman, Addison Ostringa, is also going to make some hay. And remember that name, Addison Ostringa. He's a young man out of Wisconsin. He really is a good football player and a great route runner. All right, we'll step out, take a break, come back with more Hawk Talk from View Rooftop in just a minute. I want to tell you first, though, about Authentic Brand. We thank Authentic Brand all season long here for sponsoring Hawk Talk. And Authentic Brand has a $100 gift certificate they'd like to give you. That goes to our choice for the most interesting or unique question on Facebook or Twitter. Each and every week, you can ask your question for Coach Ference by visiting Twitter at Gary Dolphin or on Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. So why don't you enter your question right now? We've got some really good ones tonight. The winner may be within that collection, but you've got a chance to get yours in right now. Twitter is on Twitter. Reach out at Gary Dolphin or on Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. Authentic Brand is a proud partner, not only outfitting our broadcast crew each and every game day and for Hawk Talk, but outfitting thousands of you fans on game day. Gear up for game day and every day in officially licensed Hawkeye apparel and accessories from Authentic Brand. Blue is freedom to choose the doctors you want. Blue is affordable with plans to fit your budget because Blue is Medicare Advantage from Wellmark Advantage Health Plans. Get all-in-one plans with the confidence of being covered by Wellmark. Find the plan right for you at wellmark.com/touchdowns. Back to View Rooftop in just a couple of minutes. This is Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz from Learfield.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Kirk Ferentz. We've been working hard all year long, just like Iowa's corn farmers do. Because when the Hawkeyes take to the field and Iowa corn farmers take to theirs, Iowans win. You want to support Iowa's corn farmers? It's easy. Buy corn-fed meat, dairy, and eggs. Fill your cup with safe drinking water right from the tap, and fuel your vehicle with clean, renewable, homegrown E15 and unleaded 88. Now who's ready for some Hawkeye football?
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
Oh, you know that old injury of yours, the one in your knee or maybe back? Instead of going to the doctor and then doing physical therapy, why not start with therapy first? Athletico Physical Therapy is changing the whole healing process around. Their physical therapists will find the source of your pain and help fix it. Start with them and start living pain-free. Just like that.
It all starts with Athletico Physical Therapy. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com. No prescription needed. Proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
You probably know that a natural gas leak smells like rotten eggs, but what does a gas leak look or sound like? If you hear a whooshing or hissing sound, see dirt, dust, or water spraying from an area, or you get dizzy or queasy, leave the area immediately. Then call 1-800-595-5325 once you're safely away. See MidAmericanEnergy.com for more safety tips.
Paid for by the customers of Mid-American Energy.
Hi, Gary Dolphin here. My Game Day apparel features the premium Authentic brand label. Authentic brand products are preferred by national corporate brands and should be your gear of choice too. Insist on the Authentic brand label from your supplier for your next merch project. Or visit authentic-brand.com and find an authorized distributor near you.
Hawkeye football with Nebraska on Friday at 3 o'clock. That's the kickoff. 1 o'clock for the pregame coverage here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Congratulations to longtime Iowa assistant coach Reese Morgan. Reese will serve as the honorary captain for the Iowa-Nebraska game Friday. He retired after the 2019 season. He served as a member of Coach Ferentz staff for 19 years. And Reese Morgan has the distinction of coaching three, not one, not two, but three Outland Trophy winners. Robert Gallery, Brendan Sheriff, both from Iowa. And back in his earlier, younger days, he coached Chad Hennings, who was from Iowa, and ultimately became a fighter pilot at the Air Force Academy, but was an All-American at the Air Force Academy, and then played a lot of years for the Dallas Cowboys. So congratulations to Reese Morgan on being selected by Coach as the honorary captain for this Friday's game with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I think Reese coached seemingly every position at Iowa. He was the tight ends coach when Dallas Clark won the John Mackey Award. Everything... how's that song go? Everything you touch turns to gold. That was Reese Morgan, our honorary captain. Also, congrats to Phil Parker, Iowa's heralded defensive coordinator. Phil has been named a finalist for the Frank Broyles Award. That's the Assistant Coach of the Year award. And who's more deserving than Phil Parker, the way that Iowa defense has performed this season and throughout the season. Talk about a model of consistency down through the years. Every year, Phil Parker's defense is nationally ranked in the top 10. Iowa's defense surrendered 10 points or fewer for the 8th time last week in that road victory at Minnesota. The Hawkeyes will turn to that defense again on Friday afternoon. Nebraska has a high-scoring outfit. They're very capable of putting a lot of points on the board. So the Iowa defense certainly will be challenged. But congratulations to Coach Parker for being a finalist for the Frank Broyles Assistant Coach of the Year award. Back to the U.S. Bank scoreboard, where Big Ten teams in basketball are in action around the country and beyond. As an example, the Wisconsin Badgers in the battle for Atlantis defeated Dayton 43-42 this afternoon. Wisconsin at the battle for Atlantis. Out at Maui in the consolation bracket, Ohio State defeated Texas Tech 80-73. The Buckeyes win at the Maui Invitational. By the way, Creighton fell to Arizona in the title game 81-79. Arizona 81 and Creighton 79 in the championship game. Later tonight, Minnesota plays UNLV at the Southern Cal Challenge out on the West Coast. Northwestern is in Cancun, and the Wildcats will face Auburn starting in about 10 minutes at 7:30. Indiana is playing right now. I think they're playing Arkansas Little Rock, and the Hoosiers with 6 minutes to play are up handily on Little Rock, 80-59. Michigan a little bit later on will play Jacksonville State. That's at 7:30 tonight. It'll be, Jackson State, Michigan and Jackson State a little bit later on. The Hawkeyes, Hawkeye basketball team, of course, undefeated, ranked 25th, is in Florida. The Hawks landed a little while ago. They'll be playing in a tournament in the Panhandle of Florida, and that'll be against Iowa. By the way, will play at 6 o'clock coming up on Friday night. Is that right? Friday night, yeah. Get my days straight here. The Hawkeyes will play Friday night at 6 o'clock against Clemson, and then they will play. They'll play either Cal or TCU, Texas Christian University, on Saturday. So there you have it, right update. The Hawkeye women are headed to Portland, Oregon, where they have a couple of toughies lined up. They'll play Oregon State on Friday night, and then on Sunday they'll play either UConn, that Connecticut team with Gino Auriemma, UConn or Duke. So Lisa Bluter and her crew are taking on all comers. Head coach Ferentz has arrived. I was mentioning a little earlier about this is a traditional Thanksgiving dinner on Wednesday night before the big holiday tomorrow for you, the coaches, and the football team, courtesy of Hy-Vee. It's been a great feast for a number of years.
It really has, and what a nice occasion. They dress up the room a little bit. We've got tablecloths, candles, decoration, and
nobody dressed up like pilgrims, or
no, I didn't have any of that.
Okay.
But just a really good meal and a good chance for the coaches' families to kind of just touch base a little bit with the players and vice versa. So it's a nice family night.
Tomorrow is really your Friday, huh?
Correct, yep.
So do you have practice tomorrow? Will you practice?
We will, yeah. So we treat it exactly like a Friday. And basically, in essence, Thursday is our day off in a normal week. So we just, slide that to Saturday. And so today we cut back on our time for obvious reasons. We got a day less, from the game from last week. But had a good workout this morning and meetings this afternoon, and then had the nice meal. And then tomorrow is our normal Friday morning practice. Then we'll head up to the Kirkwood Hotel. So we'll leave here, late afternoon and kind of settle in like we would any other Friday.
Any additional thoughts on the Minnesota game? You've had a chance to review the tape and take a look at a lot of twists and turns in that game. Obviously, turnovers were huge in Iowa's favor again.
Yeah, that's the biggest takeaway. And first of all, I think we've all thought out that was a cold day, guaranteed. So that was, it was interesting that way. And I think it factors into Midwest football typically in the Big Ten. So that was part of the game. And it's a really great team effort by everybody. I think we did a lot of good things in all three phases. Certainly the kicking game really factored in, and that's big for us. It's nice to have a punter like Torrey, but we're also getting some mileage out of our punt return unit. Those guys have really done a good job, whether it's Cooper back there or Arlen. So, we're getting good mileage there. The guys are really working hard. I think they're excited about that opportunity. So the kicking game's helped us in that. I got to mention Drew Stevens also. He's just continued to be really steady and consistent. Defense, played really well. Gave up more, run yards than we like, obviously, but we're able to keep them out of the end zone. You hold somebody to 10 points, you got a chance to win regardless. And the other thing, I was hopeful and I don't want to say confident, but fairly optimistic. At some point they were going to turn it over. They were playing well, and if they could go 4 quarters without a turnover, congratulations to them. They didn't, and credit to our defense. They were really opportunistic, and then the offense did something with it. So when it counted, and that's it's just good winning football in November. It's tough to win games in cold weather against a good team, and happy to come out of there with a win. Actually, really thrilled to come out of there with a win.
Well, I got to tell you, I didn't think the first turnover would come from Mo Ibrahim, but no. I think it speaks to how valuable and what a great player Jack Campbell is to pry the ball loose and then come back with the big interception.
Yeah, it's interesting. The two guys you just mentioned were the offense and defensive players of the week playing against each other, but both of them are, in my mind, obvious choices. Ibrahim's just a very impressive, football player, and his durability, his ability to, carry the ball a lot of times every game, basically. And then he comes back the next week and looks like it's the first week of the season. He's really an impressive competitor and just a tough competitive guy and really hard to tackle. He's got great vision, and he can get his foot down and make yards and tough to tackle. So real credit to him. And then Jack just had another great game. No big surprise, but opportunistic, causing the fumble, and then coming up with the pick off of Riley's tip. So again, just really good team football. And I won't say he got robbed, but you could debate whether he was out of bounds or not. So took a chance for him to score a touchdown off the board, but fortunately we were able to come up with the points we needed to win the game.
I don't think there's any debate to be discussed. In fact, one of our Twitter questions was, Coach, has the officials or the Big Ten office apologized to Jack Campbell yet for taking that touchdown off the board?
If they have, he hasn't told me that, and we're not hanging around waiting for that, and it really doesn't do any good anyway. But
Yeah, everybody makes mistakes. I know we make them, and that was a mistake. I mean, basically they should have just let it go and then come back, reviewed it, and they could have said, okay, he was out of bounds on the whatever yard line, and that's the better way to do it. But those things happen, and fortunately it didn't cost us a game.
Tim on Twitter says, after the review down by the goal line at the end of the game, wasn't the game clock supposed to start since Minnesota had no timeouts? What did the Big Ten office say about this? Now, you and I had that conversation after the game. You called timeout and discussed why the review was taking so long. First off, why they were even reviewing it. It looked like LaShawn, I think it was LaShawn on that carry. His elbow or his knee was down. I can't remember which. But anyway, the snap clock and the game clock stayed stuck on 31 and 25.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things. Yeah, first of all, my question is, why did they review it? It really, when we saw it on film, it looked pretty cut and dry to me. But and it's curious, when they choose to review. I'm a little frustrated, I'll say that publicly. I was a little frustrated with the review system in general. And I think there's a lot of inconsistencies, and I think we probably improve that a little bit. I know. I'll just leave it at that. There's I think better ways to do what we're doing. It's good in theory, but I have not really appreciated the consistency of it over the last 5-6 years. So start there, and then in retrospect, what I wish I had done, because prior to the game being stopped for review, I told the guy on our sideline, hey, we want to take it down to 1 second, take a timeout, and that would have cut the clock a little bit.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, they review the play, and then now we got our field goal team out there. And in retrospect, I wish I just kept everybody, offense and field goal team, over on our sideline, and because we were not going to snap the ball. But with them out there over the ball, I was worried they were going to snap the ball. So then we take a timeout just to make sure nothing gets screwed up that way, because that would have been not what we're looking for.
Proof positive that your mind is spinning in about 18 different directions in a situation like that, right?
Learned a lesson there.
Yeah.
Just keep everybody in the sideline.
Get the wind and come back next time. You'll know better, or at least be a little bit more educated on a situation like that. Tom, on Twitter, Tom says, Coach, why do you stay in Cedar Rapids the night before games? Is that common for most teams?
It is. It's really standard now, and not every college town is as vibrant as Iowa City, but pre the night before a game in Iowa City is a little bit exciting. Back in the old days, in the 80s when I was here, back in the days when all of our players pretty much lived in the dormitory of the Hillcrest or Slater at that time, we were all on 4 floors basically, and we would have security actually on the halls just to keep people from wandering in, and revelers and all that stuff. So that's what we did 35, 40 years ago, and now we like to get the guys off campus. When now Kinnick played, I believe they stayed on campus at the hotel on campus going back. So it's not
the old Memorial Union, right? Yeah,
I think so.
No, you're
so
right.
Anyway, the idea is just to get them off separate where they can have some peace and tranquility and don't have to worry. Our guys, most of them live off campus now. They don't have to worry about roommates or family members dropping in. They just get them in a place where they're together and able to focus on the game. We have a couple meetings, and we try to make the routine exactly the same whether we're on the road or in Iowa City for the game the next day.
So there you have it. Eugene, Iowa is used to a short prep this week. What makes it a challenge? Thank you, Eugene, for the question on Twitter. This game's coming every year on Black Friday. What's different about the challenges other than the short week?
Yeah, the obvious thing is the short week. You lose a day, you lose your off day, basically. So that's kind of where that starts. I think the biggest factor, in my opinion, would be the timing of it. A year ago, it was last year, I think we were at Maryland. That was earlier in the season, but it was far enough along where we were in a rhythm, if you will, or at least you get used to the game week routine. If we had to do it in the first couple of weeks, I just can't imagine it, because those first couple of weeks you're just trying to figure out the week's flow. Your roster's different than the year before, so everybody's just trying to figure out what the rhythm is to things. And at this time of year, I almost think it's in some ways a benefit, because especially if you have a mature team, because they can get a lot out of practice still without hitting as much and some of those things. So we shorten the volume of our practice time. We really don't put pads on during our short week, and really challenge our guys to be concentrating and really detailing things out, even though we're not going live, if you will. And so it's a little bit of a test of maturity, but I think later in the season you got a better chance. I really feel like our players started practicing about 3 weeks ago without pads, the way you like to see it. But up until then, if we weren't in pads, it didn't look so good.
10 straight wins on Friday, counting that Maryland game last year on Friday night. So you've got it figured out, Coach. Mark, got that right. Mark on Twitter. Coach, can you talk about the tremendous job your coaches, your staff has done this year, not only keeping the unity, but putting Iowa in position to go to a second consecutive Big Ten championship game? He'd like to know about the coaches and what they've done in good times and in bad at midseason, and keeping everybody together, led by you, of course.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting in my mind, and I've never coached anywhere where like every season goes the way you hope it does, and there aren't many of those places out there because something always happens. But it's like a lot of things. I just always feel like sometimes the best coaching goes on when things are looking the worst, and things are a little bumpy or rough, and it's like anything else. I mean, it's easy to win, play a game when you're winning by 24 points, and it's easy to be a good winner. But when things aren't going so well, I think that's really where you get put to the test. Starting with the players, so as a coach, you got to be cognizant of that and cognizant of the kind of stuff they're hearing outside of the building. And I think recognize that, if the theme isn't positive internally, these guys are already hearing enough negative stuff. They don't need that from us. So in some ways, I think that's where the best coaching gets done, in my opinion. And I think about the great coaches that I've had a chance to work with and work for. And I think about friends of mine who have worked for some really, really good coaches. That's a common theme, is that the people who are coaching don't up and down. It's not a roller coaster. It's not a stock market deal. They're just, kind of consistent with what they're doing. And I think there's a lot of value, and I think that's how you got to approach it, and stick to what you believe in, and just try to do it better. That's really all you can do. And if you run out of time, you run out of time. But you're trying to, you're just trying to keep a consistency with your approach and make. There's always adjustments being made. I don't mean it's the same old stuff on too every day. But injuries. There's a lot of factors that make you have to. Make some changes and tweak things, but overall, the themes that you're communicating need to be consistent.
Well, one of your all-time favorites is Reese Morgan, and he's the honorary captain this week for Nebraska. Nick would like to know how Reese Morgan impacted the program for 19 years.
Oh man, so I've screwed a lot of stuff up. Probably nobody's noticed, but I've screwed a lot of stuff up since I've been here. And one of the first things that always comes to mind. I didn't make room for Reese on our initial staff. So, I'm not sure who should have been or shouldn't have been. But anyway, when Pat Flaherty left the staff after our first year, he took a job at the Washington Redskins coaching their tight ends. We had an opening, and I went to Reese immediately and was aware of him the year before, what a quality job he had done. At West High, I was in Cleveland. I can't tell you what year it was, but I remember reading USA Today, sitting at my desk in Cleveland, and saw that West High had lost. Back in those days, they had high school playoff scores in the paper. Yeah, it was a paper then. I think it was. It still is. It was
an actual newspaper. Yeah, you put it right in your hands.
So I'm reading it. West High lost to whoever it was, and I'm like, West High, because they were not good when we left in '89. So I called Dave Triplett up and I said, Dave, what is that, a typo or what the heck's going on? And he explained to me that Reese had come there from Benton and Benton Community and just done a wonderful job at the program. So. We got to know each other, and so anyway, when we had the opening year too, hired Reese, and I would describe Reese as a master coach. And I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it sounds like somebody who really knows what they're doing. And I'm not sure what Reese couldn't do. I mean, in all sincerity,
well, he's coached about every position.
He has. He's coached the defensive. Or let me start with the tight ends. He had a Mackey Winter Award with Dallas. Then he shifted. Joe Philbin left, and Joe, ended up being an NFL head coach.
Offensive line, right?
He took the offensive line for Joe. And then in 2012, I just thought he would be a perfect fit with our defensive line, so we asked him to move over. Very unselfishly did. And next thing you know, it's one of the strengths of our football team. So wherever he is, he just does such a great job communicating, connecting with the players. Master teacher. I do know what that means, and he is a master teacher. And just has a rare ability to, just really get people to respond in a positive way. So And he's a first-class human being. He and Joe are just a great couple, and we've been so lucky to have Reese as part of the program. And even today, I mean, if he's not at practice or in the building, you know, he's in Arizona with his daughter and family down there. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he's in our building probably before any of us get there. You know, he's in there watching tape, and you know, he's addicted, and I guess that's something that happens to coaches.
He's a very humble human being, one of the greatest low-key guys I've ever met. And you know, I hear you refer to pixie dust. We don't have any pixie dust that we can just change things. If anybody ever carried a bag of pixie dust around, it would be Reese Morgan.
You might be suspicious of that, exactly, because good things happen wherever he showed up.
Sure,
I know that.
Sure do.
Going back to Benton Community.
Coach, you got 27 seniors. That's got to be your largest class ever for a variety of reasons, which we talked about before you got here, most notably COVID. But when you add in the medical red shirts and the guys who are 4, 5, or 6-year seniors, 27 young men. We ran through 10 earlier. There's the crew on the screen here, courtesy of Channel 9.2 KCRG. So we left off with Thomas Hartlieb. There's a last name that's familiar, the Hartlieb family. Jim, this would be Jim's son, Thomas, who is a 5'11" defensive back, thanks to Tom for his efforts. Logan Klemp, linebacker, who's been on special teams and has seen significant action throughout his career, a senior from Jewell, South Hamilton Jewell. Sam Laporta, of course, no introduction needed here. All Big Ten tight end. Sam, a senior from Highland, Illinois. Kayvon Merriweather, the outstanding safety from Belleville, Michigan, senior. Hard to believe he's a senior already. Riley Moss, the great All-American from Ankeny Centennial. There's three pretty good names there. Laporta, Merriweather, and Moss. They've meant so much to your program.
So all three of those guys have been captains every game, and that's voted on by the player council. They've been captains. Obviously noteworthy players, and one other commonality, all three of those guys were really not very heavily recruited. And, you know, boy, they all three of them have just had great careers, tremendous young people. And, you know, whether it's 27 seniors, which is a really big number, or 16 or 15, 14, one commonality year to year, each guy's got his unique story. You know, it's really interesting that way, how they got here and what they did once they were here as career players. And somebody like Sam, who's very well known, you know, and I'd imagine is up for national awards, things like that. Or a guy like Tom Hartlieb, who's, you know, never started a game here. But they've all played really critical roles. You know, if you got a good team, everybody's got a role, and they've all done that. They all have their unique stories, which are great. And then the other part, I just have such respect for anybody who can go through as a major college football player in this day and age. Because, you know, it's not like when I played 50 years ago, you know, it was just pretty much a fall sport, you know. But this is almost year-round right now, the commitment. You know, I've had 3 sons play here. 2 of them ended up having surgeries. One played with a really bad foot for about 6 weeks. So, you know, the physical part, the physical toll, the time it takes, the emotional drain, and how that taps into guys, and there's just so much going on. And then, you know, they're held to a higher standard than most people on campus for obvious reasons. I mean, but
sure.
we all signed up for it. I always remind them that. So I just have such great respect for anybody that can, you know, take it start to finish. And they've actually, these guys have all walked the walk. You know, they've backed it up with action. They've all been key parts of our success, and so I have nothing but, you know, just respect and appreciation for each and every one of those guys. And it's always good when they leave here and you feel like, boy, you know, he's going to be just fine whatever he chooses to do.
And that doesn't include the academic side of it, in the classroom every day, and they've got a well-deserved few days away from the classroom, but of course still on the practice field, and will be tomorrow morning. We thank Turner Palisard, who played quite a bit on Saturday night. I heard, judging by your comments yesterday in your weekly press conference, it doesn't sound like Sam Laporta will be available this week. What about Monty Potabom?
Same thing. I think I don't think they're going to make it by Saturday. Both turned out to be, you know, not as serious as it could have been, you know, that type of thing. You really don't know when things happen. So after testing and a couple days here, it looks like, you know, it's not a real bad prognosis by any stretch, but they're going to miss senior day, and that stinks. You know, I feel bad for them. And injuries have always been the one thing that Yeah, it's hard to warm up to.
For sure. But Turner Palisard will be out there out of Frankfort, Illinois. Lincoln Way East, Spencer Petras. We've talked a lot about Spencer tonight. 6'5", 230 pound senior quarterback from California. Nick Phelps, 5'10 senior, a punter from Kingsley, Woodbury Central by way of North Dakota State. Johnny Pleva, a 6 foot, 240 pound fullback from Franklin, Wisconsin. Johnny's seen some snaps. And Jack Plum, who's played some significant minutes and been very effective the last few weeks during Iowa's win streak. 6'7", 297 pound offensive lineman, offensive tackle from Green Bay. We'll mention the rest of them in our remaining moments. When we come back, Kirk's going to give us his Club Car Wash keys to the game, keys to a victory over Nebraska on Friday. This is Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, this is Hawkeye coach Kirk Ferentz. My players know that determination and strong will can lead to endless possibilities. For years, Iowa farmers have believed in that too. Farmers are the backbone of this country, and their dedication to bringing us food and energy has never been more important. That's why we're proud to wear the America Needs Farmers logo on our helmet. Join the Hawkeyes as we celebrate America's farmers. To learn more about ANF and pick up some great ANF merchandise, visit americaneedsfarmers.org.
Time to redo this basement?
Yeah. A home gym, movie theater, model train utopia.
Or yoga studio?
I'm flexible-ish.
Great. I'll just use the U.S. Bank mobile app so we can plan it out.
Which way are you leaning? Setting a savings goal or applying for a home improvement loan?
I say we look at both options, right here in the app.
Budget for a really good home gym. We deserve it.
Noted.
Help for today, planning for tomorrow. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender member FDIC.
U.S. Cellular has always believed that connection is the greatest gift of all. That's why we're offering any phone, any brand, any storage for free for everyone, new and current customers. Plus, our price protection guarantee means your rates won't go up. Because locally grown connection is the gift that keeps on giving. Visit us in-store or online to get any phone, any brand, any storage free today. U.S. Cellular. Locally grown connection. Limited time offer. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
At MidAmerican Energy, we want to help keep you safe around power lines and electrical equipment. Always assume a power line is energized, even if it's on the ground. To avoid the risk of an accidental shock or electrocution, avoid touching a power line with anything. And when you see high voltage warnings on transformers and substations, stay away. We care about you and your safety. Get more tips at midamericanenergy.com.
Paid for by the customers of Mid-American Energy.
Get a Hy-Vee Plus Premium membership for just $99 a year and get fuel savings every time you shop in-store and online. Plus, exclusive deals and offers every month. Plus, free standard delivery and free express pickup. With Hy-Vee Plus, our plus equals more. For a limited time, get $50 off an annual Hy-Vee Plus membership with code SAVEBIG. That's right, get $50 off a Hy-Vee Plus membership with code SAVEBIG.
Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz. Kirk is signing a few autographs right now for the fans. We'll give you a U.S. Bank scoreboard. Take another break and come back with Kirk's Club Car Wash keys to the game. Authentic Brand is a sponsor of Hawk Talk, designed and crafted with an exceptional attention to detail. Authentic Brand is our choice for Hawkeye game day apparel. Shop their exclusive selection at authentic-brand.com, where the service is always great and shipping is free. Make Authentic Brand your gear of choice. Authentic Brand. Hawks are officially bowl eligible. We talked about that a little earlier tonight. Sign up to automatically receive official bowl travel information at hawkeyesports.com/bowl central. And when the game is announced, you'll immediately receive information on game tickets, air travel, and hotel. That's HawkeyeSports.com/Bowl Central, presented by Travel Leaders Destinations Unlimited, Iowa's official bowl tour. Top 25 basketball tonight. Kansas beat North Carolina State 80-74. Ohio State a winner over Texas Tech 80-73. It was Kentucky walloping North Florida 96-56. Baylor defeated its opponent 89-60, an acronym about a mile long. I don't have time to look that one up. Creighton lost in the championship of the Maui Invitational to Arizona 81-79. 11th ranked Indiana has won 87-68. The Hawkeyes play on Friday night at 6 o'clock down in Florida in the Emerald Classic. Iowa will play Clemson and then either Cal or TCU. The Hawkeye women will be in Portland for the night tournament, the Night Classic. Of course, the founder of Nike. Iowa faces Oregon State on Friday night, then either UConn or Duke on Sunday. That's a U.S. Bank scoreboard update. Hawkeye Village at Duane Banks Field has been brought to you all season long by your Iowa Kubota dealers. For tailgating and entertainment options in Hawkeye Village during the 2023 season, visit HawkeyeSports.com and learn more. Thank you, Iowa Kubota dealers, for your support of Hawkeye football. Back to View Rooftop with Coach Ferentz in just a minute on Hawk Talk from Learfield.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
Golden Harvest Gold Series soybeans are bred to win. These 19 varieties have strong agronomics within high-demand trait platforms like Enlist E3 soybeans for superior performance all season long. Gold Series soybeans also out-yielded Astro brand soybeans by an average of 1 bushel per acre in 5,542 comparisons. Grow gold at goldenharvestseeds.com/gold-series.
You keep coming, you keep playing, and the jackpots keep adding up. You know how to win, Iowa, and we're all for it. Wild Rose Casino and Hotel has the jackpots and cash prizes you're after. We're heading towards $30 million in jackpots this year. Want your share? Join Club Wild today and get in on all the winning. Wild Rose Casino and Hotel, Clinton, Emmitsburg, and Jefferson. Visit wildroseresorts.com.
Must be 21 or older. If you or someone you know needs gambling treatment, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
U.S. Cellular has always believed that connection is the greatest gift of all. That's why we're offering any phone, any brand, any storage for free for everyone, new and current customers. Plus, our price protection guarantee means your rates won't go up. Because locally grown connection is the gift that keeps on giving. Visit us in-store or online to get any phone, any brand, any storage free today. U.S. Cellular, locally grown connection. Limited time offer, terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
At DePaco Credit Union, members are better together through thank yous, a DePaco-only perk that thanks members in cash for saving, borrowing, and planning. This year, participating DePaco members shared nearly $3.7 million. Since 2016, members have shared nearly $24.4 million in thank yous. Be part of the movement. Join the local financial cooperative where members are owners. Visit your nearest DePaco branch or join online at depaco.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Time is fast escaping us here on the night before Thanksgiving. Coach, before we get to our club car wash keys to the game, I'm going to give Barb our Authentic Brand $100 gift certificate this week simply because it is Thanksgiving. And she has a plain and simple question. Coach, pumpkin or pecan pie, Cool Whip or no?
It'll take me 2 seconds to answer. It's pumpkin for me.
Cool Whip.
And Cool Whip, why not?
Yeah, so. Good answer. Barb, thank you for your question and for asking that on Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. Authentic awards you a $100 gift certificate. Authentic Brand, a proud partner not only outfitting our broadcast team, but thousands of fans on game day. Log on to authentic-brand.com. All right, our Club Car Wash keys to the game, courtesy of Club Car Wash, the official car wash of the Hawks. Join for just $20 a month, unlimited membership starting at $20 a month. There's no better time to join the club. Visit clubcarwash.com and find a location near you. Nebraska offense, where does it start? With Casey Thompson, their fleet-footed quarterback?
Yeah, I think you have to start there. He's back in the lineup now. He was out for a couple of weeks, and they rotated the other two players, and they did a fine job, but it's not even close in our opinion. We think he's their best guy. So, yeah, he can throw it, he can run it. Dangerous both ways, and he's done some good things this year, so we got to really be at our best with him, and he's got a couple good receivers to work with and a tight end.
Anthony Grant is the workhorse at tailback, just shy of 1,000 yards, former Florida State Seminole. What are his strengths?
He's a strong kid, a good runner, good vision, strong. And, if you're not conscientious and disciplined, he can cut it back on you, make some yards there. So he is clearly their best running back. And as I mentioned, they got two pretty good receivers that you really have to do a good job with. Trey Palmer's got a ton of catches. And Brown on the other side. Washington also is a guy that, we got a lot of respect for. And then the tight end, is a really good player, a transfer player. And
Vokalek?
Yep. Good target and also a good blocker.
We know him from his days at Rutgers.
Yeah, we do. And his dad's coached in state here for quite a while.
What is it about these 6'7", 265 or 70-pound tight ends? You saw one last week at Minnesota. Vokalek's just tipping the scales right at 260.
It is. It's amazing. A lot of height at that position, certainly.
Coach, defensively, Nebraska, the Black Shirts, as they're infamously known, they ran the 3-4 for a lot of years. They still running that?
They are. Yeah, they are. And they made a change at the coordinator position back 6-8 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But they really, they haven't changed their identity. And it's in midseason, it's hard to go from one scheme 4 down to a 3 down. So they're playing a lot of guys, and their whole team overall, especially on defense, a lot of transfer students is out of season. So you see the same thing on the offensive side, but especially on the defense. And I think they've improved their talent level. And these guys are really big on the interior defensive line. Those guys are basically space eaters, if you will. And the idea is for the two linebackers that play behind them, and then the two outside backers to really do a good job for them. And coincidentally, two of the outside backers are both captains as well. Number 2 and number 44. So, 44 is a real high effort guy. He just seems to me to be the, kind of the bell cow in the group.
That inside backer, Luke Reimer, he's all over the field. He can really run. 225 pounds. He's more of a hybrid safety.
Yeah, he is. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but is very, very active. And in that scheme, that's the whole idea. And, the number 15 is a young guy.
Ernest Hausman, freshman from Nebraska.
Had to step in. He's done a nice job. And number 31's a guy played at UNI, actually transferred in there. So, as I said, they've kind of went out and got some guys.
A lot of new pieces.
Yeah, tried to supplement their talent base.
Chris Kolarvik is the young man who played at UNI. He's from Michigan. He's got 32 tackles. Hausman has 50 tackles, so they spread the wealth around. Those are coaches, Club Car Wash keys to the game. Visit clubcarwash.com and find a location near you. Let's hear from our sponsors, our wonderful sponsors who've been with us all year long, one more time. And we'll come back and wrap up this week's Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz right after this from Learfield.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
Businesses like yours count on EMC insurance companies for protection with the standard coverage they need. But EMC agents go further, tailoring coverages with the specialized products and services every unique company requires, including yours. EMC has insurance solutions for nearly 500 types of businesses. So whatever your specialty is, count on EMC to protect it. Visit emcins.com to find your local agent.
U.S. Cellular has always believed that connection is the greatest gift of all. That's why we're offering any phone, any brand, any storage for free for everyone, new and current customers. Plus, our price protection guarantee means your rates won't go up. Because locally grown connection is the gift that keeps on giving. Visit us in-store or online to get any phone, any brand, any storage free today. U.S. Cellular, locally grown connection. Limited time offer, terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Okay, close your eyes and imagine.
Well, unless you're driving.
Yes, imagine you bought a scratch ticket from the Iowa Lottery.
Or someone gave you one.
Yes, right. And you scratch, and you've won.
Won big.
Yes, in fact, there are 13 holiday games with big cash prizes. And if you don't win, play it again. You can still win up to $100,000 in the VIP club.
But you have to enter and see rules and complete details at ialottery.com/VIP.
Yes, thank you.
We're about out of time for tonight and this year here at View Rooftop. They'd love to have you here at the 12th floor of the Hilton Garden Inn on Friday for game day if you're not headed to Kinnick Stadium. View Rooftop with all their beautiful big flat screens. Call them at 319-519-4650. Set up your reservation, 319-519-4650. Coach, we really thank View Rooftop all season long. Great staff, great Hawkeye fans have come out each and every Wednesday night, all with the exception of one or two where we had to move the schedule around, but we appreciate their support of the Hawks.
Yeah, it's a great venue, and we've enjoyed it. Our program's enjoyed it. This is where our recruits and visiting families are housed, so it's a great place for them. We kick off our official recruiting weekends right here in this very same room, and with food and
terrific.
Just a chance for a little fellowship. So yeah, it's always great to be here.
Coach, you always talk about a fast start in winning a football game, and especially if you score first. Fast starts lately have been win the coin flip.
Yeah, well, that's not all bad. But,
then defer
and
get that great defense out on the field. That's been a pattern, but it's been a successful one for you.
Still trying to get used to that, but it's worked out well, and hopefully it will continue to work that way. And you just never know how the coin toss is going to go, so you got to be ready on both sides. But deference kind of worked out pretty well for us.
Sure has. Thanks for coming out every Wednesday, Kirk. Fans want to talk to you. I'll let you mingle here, and we'll see you on Friday afternoon for Black Friday.
Well, it should be exciting. It's going to be great to finish up with our seniors. And, you think it was only 2 years ago, right? There was no crowd here. So you got your seniors walking and empty stadium. So what a nice contrast.
No more of that.
What a good way for our seniors to finish up, and hopefully we can play a great game on top of it.
Madi Potabom, Nico Regani, Terry Roberts, Noah Shannon, Louis Steck, and let me get the last two in here, John Wagner and Jamison Woody. We'll talk more about them on Friday. Good night from View Rooftop for Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz.
On the Hawkeyes Sports Network from Learfield, you've been listening to Hawk Talk, presented by View Rooftop, downtown Iowa City. Also brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa football. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. And by Iowa Office of Secretary of State. Visit voterready.iowa.gov. Get in the game. Be a voter. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.